Hello and welcome to News Hour on Voice of the People TV. I am Vivian Oguche.
And I am Choma Lena. Before we begin the news, kindly visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Here are the headlines. Shettima reaffirms Tinubu's Gulf of Guinea security pledge.
Also, ADC accuses Tinubu's government of nepotism cover-up.
Obasanjo Abdulsalami Jonathan backed digital health drive.
And WAEC set to fully adopt computer-based WASC by 2026.
NSIB begins Abuja train crash investigation.
And Rivers APC expresses readiness to work with Governor Fubara.
And on the foreign scene, China to host largest ever military parade.
While in business, cooking gas jumps to 44% in 12 months.
That's interesting. And in sports, 13 Super Eagles players arrive camp for World Cup qualifiers.
And in the world of entertainment, M.I. Abaga set to debut in animated Future this September.
Now the news in detail. Vice President Kashim Shettima has reaffirmed President Bola Tinubu's commitment to peace, security and stability in the Gulf of Guinea, highlighting ongoing reforms in the Gulf of Guinea Commission. Receiving the Commission's Executive Secretary, Osemba Abeso, and his delegation at the Presidential Villa in Abuja, Shettima emphasized Nigeria's dedication to regional cooperation in line with the African Union's 2050 Integrated Maritime Strategy. Earlier, Abeso sought Nigeria's backing for the Commission's reform agenda. This includes expanding membership to all 19 coastal states of the Gulf of Guinea, strengthening regional peace and security, and working with insurance companies to review high shipping premiums in the region.
Meanwhile, the African Democratic Congress ADC has accused the Tinubu administration of manipulating infrastructure data to deflect criticism over nepotism and regional bias. In a statement, the party's National Publicity Secretary Bolaji Abdullahi said the government's recently released infrastructure report raised doubts about fair governance and showed a readiness to mislead the public. The report, titled Infrastructure Equity for Every Region, Progress for Every Nigerian, was presented by the government as a measure of accountability. But the ADC dismissed it as propaganda, alleging that projects from the Northeast and North Central were wrongly listed under the Northwest.
And away from that report, the Ministry of Works says repairs are ongoing on the damaged deck of the Benin-bound Shagamu-Benin carriageway and has urged motorists not to panic. In a statement, Minister of Works Dave Umahi said a team of engineers has been dispatched to the damaged bridge at the Edo-Ondo border. He added that traffic on the affected section will resume no later than 45 days after concrete works are completed.
Well, switching some gears now, the federal government has rejected claims of lopsided development under President Bola Tinubu, insisting his administration has been fair to all regions. But some Nigerians are still calling for greater inclusivity and an even spread of projects. VOP TV's Matthew Gunswada reports.
Equitably across the 6 geopolitical zones, from the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway in the south to the Badagry-Sokoto Superhighway in the north, and light rail projects in Lagos, Ogun, Kano and Kaduna, the government insists that development is balanced. According to official data, the Northwest topped the list with nearly 6 trillion naira worth of projects, followed by the South-South, North-Central, Southwest, Southeast and Northeast. The government also points to over 1,000 rehabilitated primary healthcare centers nationwide as proof of its commitment. But on the streets, Nigerians hold different opinions on whether the distribution of the project truly reflects fairness. As Voice of the People TV, we sought their views.
Constructing road just for easy transportation rights. But at the same time, what I would like government to do about this, what of employment opportunities for the youth? We have people that have HND, BSc, no job. Aside from that, the level of insecurity, life is very important, because if there are not people here, who the government want to rule? People are those people that make up the government, right? If you are ruling and no life, is nothing. Another thing is education. The education in this country now is hard. Sorry for that word. I have to do it because I'm still a student. I know what we pass through.
We have like HND, master degrees, without having jobs. And at least our government should have given us a company in Nigeria. It's not about construction, all those things. We need company at least so that our fellow youth will have a place to work, you know. At least let them just do something about it.
Let it start from the local area, and let's all enjoy all those things. We are not enjoying it. Even formerly, there's Ministry of Water Resources, but now there's nothing like that. And I believe they see allocate money for them every year. We provide water for ourselves. I wish I even expect that government should provide for us. We are applying roads, and we are paying road worthiness, paying this thing, paying that thing, but we don't enjoy the roads. We know that. Let's start from the local area. That's where I know. That's where I operate to, because that's where I know better.
What they should do is that they should be able to make food available for people. Number one, they should be able to take away those herdsmen so that people in Benue can go to their farm, people in other places can go to their farm and bring the product. Another thing is that the border should be open. Another thing is that they should work in the area of agriculture. That is, I mean, not a one man agriculture. That is, they should work in the agriculture very well. And another thing that will build the country is that they should bring people together.
While the federal government maintains that development is balanced, many Nigerians believe that more needs to be done to ensure fairness across all regions in the country. Matthew Ugunswada, reporting for Voice of the People TV.
Still in the news, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, Goodluck Jonathan, and former head of state Abdulsalami Abubakar have endorsed digital health innovation in Nigeria. They spoke at the unveiling of Care 365 Health Hub, a smart health kiosk designed to deliver affordable medical services to communities nationwide. The launch, held at the Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center in Abuja, drew top government officials, diplomats, and industry stakeholders. Chairman of the event, Olusegun Obasanjo, described the project as a tool for social justice, ensuring every Nigeria has access to health care. Abdulsalami Abubakar, who also chairs the Care 365 initiative, said the hub sends a strong message that every life matters. Former President Jonathan urged youth to embrace digital health innovation, while Health Minister Professor Muhammad Ali Pati praised the project as timely and aligned with government priorities. FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, represented by his deputy Maria Mahmood, pledged support for initiatives that improve residents' living standards, adding that Care 365 would help bridge healthcare gaps.
Well, from health to education, the West African Examinations Council says it will fully migrate the WASC to computer-based testing by 2026. Head of National Office Amos Dangote gave the assurance in Abuja during a meeting with the National Assembly Committee on Education. He said the transition, which began with private candidates in 2024, has made significant progress. On infrastructure and cyber concerns, Dangote noted that WAEC has already conducted exams in remote areas without disruption. Education Minister Tunji Alausa describes the plan as a historic step that aligns with ongoing reforms in the sector.
In another development, the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau says 12 people were injured after Asham train with 583 passengers derailed in Abuja. Director General Alex Bade said an investigator in charge has been appointed to lead the probe, working with the Nigerian Railway Corporation and other stakeholders. He noted that investigators have secured the site, preserved CCTV footage, and collected other critical data to determine the cause. Bade urged the federal government to address funding gaps to strengthen the Bureau's capacity for thorough investigations. The NSIB says its final report will be released within 30 days and shared with the NRC regulators and the public.
Well, some politics now. The Rivers State chapter of the APC says it is ready to work with Governor Siminalayi Fubara when he returns to office. State Chairman Tony Okocha told reporters in Port Harcourt that while the party is open to cooperation, it will continue to hold the governor accountable. President Bola Tinubu had on the 18th of March suspended Fubara for 6 months after declaring a state of emergency in Rivers. The deputy governor and state assembly were also suspended, with the sole administrator appointed in their place. Well, it's time for a short break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Also watch. We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television.
Welcome back from that break. You're still watching News Hour on Voice of the People Television. Now joining us virtually to analyze the News Hour is Ayo Ademilue. He's the Secretary Radical Agenda Movement in the Nigerian Bar Association. You're welcome, Ademilue.
To be on here.
Okay.
Good evening, Nigerians.
Okay, it's good to have you. Just for recap's sake, I would just run through the first story we had for today. We said Vice President Kashim Shettima has reaffirmed President Bola Tinubu's commitment to peace, security, and stability in the Gulf of Guinea, highlighting ongoing reforms in the Gulf of Guinea Commission. Now, with this in mind, we talk about Nigeria is reaffirming a leadership role in the Gulf of Guinea, particularly in line with AU's 2050 maritime strategy. One, and there is security, economic dimensions, high shipping premiums, maritime insurance, piracy. There is also a push for broader regional cooperation via Gulf of Guinea Commission reforms. Now the question, Ademilue, is, do you believe Nigeria is strategically positioned to lead maritime security in the Gulf of Guinea, or is this more of a diplomatic performance?
So much for that wonderful question. The Gulf of Guinea and the Bight of Biafra have been the territorial waters which the continental shelf of the Federal Republic of Nigeria have always been governing for a very long time. But it borders southern Cameroon by its side. It's also the opening to the Atlantic Ocean. So under international maritime law, it is what is regarded as across territorial waters in every sense. Now, we should not also forget that this recent diplomatic policy of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration is just more or less begging the question, because what we know is that the U.S. AFRICOM, that's the U.S. African Military Command, has built a base in the Gulf of Guinea since about a decade ago. So, imperialism, U.S. United States imperialism, and neighboring states have always, encroached on the maritime sovereignty of Nigeria. So this recent foreign policy direction of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a continuum of that surrender of sovereignty by Nigeria to not only the U.S. Imperialism, but also the neighboring African countries. Now, the African Union in particular, in trying to reduce maritime piracy across the waters of Africa, have enacted statutes through which piracy can be reduced, especially in the Gulf of Guinea, in the Bight of Biafra, in even as far afield as the Atlantic Ocean, as many other places at its where. So what we are saying is, and here you and Nigeria, they are all begging the question, because what we all know is that the United States have built a military base in that part of region, given the fact that it opens to the Atlantic region, and then they don't want maritime terrorists, to enter the United States through the Gulf of Guinea. So this is more or less begging the question. Thank you.
Okay, I would just have a follow-up question to that effect, because from your reply, it seems like there is somewhat a tilting towards the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, and you're more like giving them, there's a pass you're giving it. However, I would like to ask just two questions, more or less, in one. What would genuine, so underline the word genuine, regional security cooperation look like? And is the Tinubu administration putting substance behind this pledge? The reason I'm also asking this is Nigerians will want to know how important is Nigeria's stance in reducing high shipping insurance premiums, and could this actually stimulate trade in the region?
Thank you so much for that wonderful question. But I think I want to first of all object to you that I also giving the administration any pass.
Okay.
It is not living up to expectations in every way, in respect of what is required. And to answer your question directly, it is more or less another display on the fact that the Gulf of Guinea, the waters of the Gulf of Guinea, is which should be a source of blessing to Africa, is now a source of insecurity. So it's a source of piracy because of the failure of the ruling classes across Africa to even build a sufficient economy. And countries like Nigeria, which are oil producing African countries, have a double down, in that respect. Remember that Africa's biggest capitalist, that's Dangote, has opened a petrochemical refinery at the eastern part of Lagos, and it is trading refined fuel across these waters, Gulf of Guinea and the Atlantic Ocean. So the safety of all those vessels on those waters are also very key. Like civil says to neighboring countries like Ghana and Cameroon, if you like. Not to mention Guinea itself and other West African states and all that. So overall, the reality is there's still more to be done in terms of security. Security cannot happen if there's no local sufficiency. If people are not getting unemployed, Nigeria has one of the highest unemployment rates in the world, And then if there's hunger, if there's poverty, if all these issues are not resolved, they will continue to be a source of crime, not only in the inland but also on the territorial waters, including the Gulf of Guinea. Thank you.
All right, very well said as usual. You do realize that not too long ago, the federal government had released a report titled Infrastructure Equity for Every Region, Progress for Every Nigerian. But the ADC is coming out to say now that that was a charade, that it was really the government caught in the act, and that what's it called now, infrastructures meant for the northeast as well as the north central were wrongly represented under the southwest, and they are calling the government out for nepotism at the highest order. Remember that not too long ago, the former governor of Kano State, Kwankwaso, had said that the north has been largely neglected by this administration. It has been rumored that this particular report has been pulled down by the federal government. Would you say then that the FG has been caught in the act?
Well, if you ask me, it's a matter of the pot calling the kettle black. Okay. We have gone through this cycle over and over again, from the PDP to the APC, and now the ADC trying to behave like a real opposition, which is not. The reality is that it is the same politicians that masquerade and metamorphose from one party to the other, and then eventually they try to paint themselves for like opposition to the ruling section of the ruling class. So they are all of the same. Now this agency, no matter how fantastic their arguments may be, is peopled by the same ruling class elements who have even done the same things that the APC is not doing. Don't forget that the APC itself was also in opposition at the time, and it was always making a whole lot of hell and fire and brimstone of any small step or big step the Jonathan regime was making and all that. So what we will say at this point is that all of the ruling class parties have failed, including the FDC. There is no need for people to go through this route again of being deceived, of being unnecessarily cajoled by emergency opposition, quote-unquote politics. What we need is a real party of the working people of this country. A real party that will fight oppression, whether locally, domestically, internationally, and globally. We need a party of the oppressed people that will fight their oppressors to the teeth, and not the party that will be a party of the oppressors themselves, trying to now substitute themselves like football teams, substitute their jerseys at the same pitch. So that's the conclusion we need to draw at this point. But the Tinubu regime failed entirely in this. It has characterized itself with the same indices we have been seeing of the ruling class in 1960: nepotism, favoritism, and ethnic jingoism, as we used to say. Thank you.
Okay, we've always seen that the government, there is always going to be accusations, and the government will always come to insist that the infrastructure data, the data about the infrastructure, they are factual. So the question is, how can Nigerians verify such claims independently in the face of growing distrust?
Thank you. Unfortunately, we do not have independent fact-checking systems in this part of the world. It goes a long way to show you how very informal, how very unorganized. I think informal is even a more or less a what do you call it now? A euphemism, for the situation where we are still in the woods. That's the truth. We are still far behind civilization. Not to have organized systems in which people can fact check data, they can fact check information, they can fact check facts in every respect, and those are the issues. But going forward is that we need to begin to question government at all levels, as to how they build these independent systems within governance itself, governance structures itself, and ultimately how we can build a working people's political alternative in which the people of this country can liberate themselves from the hands of their oppressors. Thank you.
Very well said. Let's talk some health matter now. So former President Olusegun Obasanjo, Goodluck Jonathan, and former head of state Abdulsalami Abubakar have all endorsed digital health innovation in Nigeria. They spoke at an event called, it was actually the unveiling of Care 365 Health Hub. Now, but talking about a digital health drive, and they're saying this is the way to go today, where does that leave the grassroots people in the village who do not have internet? Some do not even have phones. What happens to those who are not covered, by this digital drive that we are talking about? What happens to them? But let me not put words into your mouth, though. Are you game with these former leaders saying this is the way to go today?
That wonderful question. It just falls back to what I've been saying. The likes of Obasanjo, Absalam, Jonathan are all responsible for all the mess we are in today. And for them to wake up at what time of the day to begin to talk about digital drive is just more or less trying to insult our intelligence. Where were all these initiatives when they were in power? They did not implement such purported digital drive. Health drive, digital health drive, and all that. Is it now that they are out of power? Are they trying to mock our memory, or what exactly are they trying to do? So this is more or less bullshit, if you like. But in any way, the reality is that the ruling class collectively mock our very, very backward state as the working people of this country. They want to make a jest of the kind of mess they have created for all of us. So what we really need, we all know that digital health inclusion in this part of the world is still at very, very low levels. Most parts of Nigeria, according to the World Poverty Clock, Nigeria is the poorest country on earth. So most parts of Nigeria are rural and low income areas with no access to electricity. Basic electricity is still a very big worry in Nigeria. Power cuts are so regular. You do not have any assurance of steady power supply and all that. So now talking about digital health drive without all those basic diseases being resolved is just more or less a mockery of our intelligence and memory. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that reply. Just a quick one on that reply you gave. Do these endorsements, like Vivi said, she said, 3 of the past heads of states and presidents, that's talk about Abdulsalami, talk about Jonathan, talk about Obasanjo, came out to endorse this. Does this reflect continuity in policy, or is this just another ceremonial launch with limited real-world impact? Do you think this is another ceremonial launch with limited real-world impact?
It's nothing but a pure charade. To even say it's a ceremony is a big slap on our collective intelligence. This is just a deliberate mockery of the real issues that are facing the working people of this country. It is pure borderdash, and it just stands to reason that these past heads of state, having lived out their terms and doing nothing about all these basic problems, now consider it fit to consider themselves as benevolent, administrators of solution. In fact, it is nothing but total, infamy, to say the least, without not being unnecessarily excessive in trying to condemn this kind of condemnable situation. So I think it is better to say that the ruling class since 1960 till now have collectively failed Nigerian working people. The working people of this country need to realize their own collective power to resist oppressors. If you see in Indonesia, the working people of Indonesia are on the streets, protesting, fighting, resisting the pay rise of political office holders in that part of the world. Recently, despite the humongous pay of Nigerian ruling class elements, which they are about to increase their humongous pay again, despite the fact that minimum wage is still not paid in most part of the country.
Okay. Ademilu, it looks like I lost you for a moment there, but if you can hear me clearly, I'd like for us to quickly talk about this before we move on to one last topic. The Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau says that 12 people were injured after an Asham train with 583 passengers derailed in Abuja. This is coming on the heels of another incident like this, which happened barely 2 weeks ago. After that incident happened, the Nigerian Railway Corporation had come out to say that they were sorry for what had happened, that they were taking responsibility for it, with analysts on different fora saying that, one, these trains are really outdated. Two, the rails are not well managed and all of that. But my question to you, that this just happened now, isn't this one case too many? Ademilu, are you there? We seem to be having some connectivity issues, but as soon as we're able to connect with Ademilu, we'll continue with the conversation. But Ochioma, this case of train incidents and all of that, like some analysts are saying, it is really a recurring incident that must be nipped in the bud.
Honestly, it's of a growing concern. Safety concerns in public transport system is not something that we should just talk about or treat with a pinch of salt.
Absolutely.
It's something that is very key. Hearing NSIB saying their report will be out in 30 days. Well, would it lead to reforms? Would all of this, would it birth a difference?
Yeah.
Would all of this reforms, all of these moves, would it change the narrative?
That's the billion-dollar question, but we need to move on. You're still watching News Hour on Voice of the People TV. We'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. Ahead of the Anambra governorship election, the Nicholas Ukachukwu and Uche Ekwunife campaign team has criticized the Soludo administration for failing to attract foreign direct investment in nearly 4 years. Chief of Staff to Prince Ukachukwu, Chukwudubem Ezekwelu, made the remarks while addressing the campaign media team in Oka. Our correspondent, Undo Palese, reports.
Said despite the incumbent governor's self-acclaimed connection to the international community, no direct foreign investor has considered it worthy while to invest in Anambra State. Ezekwel said even already existing local investments are folding up as a result of harsh environment brought about by insecurity and heavy taxation. He said Nicholas Okachukwu's grandiose experience in commerce and industrialization would make a huge difference in the first 3 months in office.
Anambra State will have 3 industrial clusters and valleys. Anambra South-North will be agro-based industrial cluster, and Central will be commodity and ICT industrial cluster. This does not take money from government. It's just a will and policy to facilitate it, and foreign investors and domestic investors will come. Put it in place, and Anambra State will be developed. It's not a rocket science.
According to Ezekwel, the APC flag bearer's blueprint is captured under 8 enablers with security in the front border. He said Okachukwu government is going to invest heavily in health sector to end overseas medical mission by Nigerians, as well as Japa syndrome among the nation's best brains in medicine and general health.
We're going to bring functional mechanized agriculture in Anambra State. Buy agro equipment from tractors to drum, harrow, all of them, and redesign agricultural activities as a business where our youth will fashion it as a modern business, investment and profit-oriented business.
The incumbent administration of Soludo in Anambra State has been saying his impressive performance in office will campaign for him for second tenure, but most of his opponent political parties are beginning to interrogate his claims to good governance. Ndu Opaleze, VOP TV News.
And away from politics, the Kebbi State Police Command says it has arrested a suspected Lakurawa bandit and recovered 10 rustled cows in Bataka, Bunza local government area. Command spokesperson CSP Nafiu Abubakar confirmed the arrest in a statement issued in Benin Kebbi. He urged residents to remain vigilant and support security agencies with timely and accurate information.
Well, let's take you to Edo State now, where the Police Command has launched a community safety partnership to boost collaboration with local communities and improve crime prevention. The initiative focuses on intelligence sharing and joint community policing to address rising security challenges. Religious and community leaders are also involved to promote peace and interfaith cooperation. VOP-TV's Rhoda Johnny has details.
Collaboration with communities. Commissioner of Police Monde Agbonika urged joint efforts in intelligence sharing and community policing.
Right now, I already have an initiative that I think the partnership will anchor, and that is the informal policing system. So the informal policing system entails that we will have, instead of relying on the existing vigilante groups, we want to energize the youths and direct their energies in the right direction, fighting against kidnapping, for instance.
SP Moses Yamu and PCRC Ambassador Isaac highlighted ongoing initiatives to curb crime, while religious leaders stressed interfaith cooperation.
Community safety partnership entails a partnership, or what we call an informal policing system, where stakeholders come together to partner with the police. So apart from the partnership, the police will also know how to serve these particular communities better.
Police Community Relations Committee is a body that has been in existence since 1984. Yes. And the idea is to see how we can partner with the police by giving them intelligence information gathering and logistics that will also help in crime prevention and control.
We're invited for a meeting to strategize on how our community can be kept safe. And that is partnering with the police to ensure that we have a safe and robust community.
And also we'll bring the youth together and begin to engage them in skillful events, things that will remove their mind from crime. You understand? So these are different ways that the church can come in. Also, we can also give the police information where necessary.
Very good now. It's very good. The partnership between police and the community is very good. The challenge is the insecurity. It's a welcome idea. But what we tell them is let the same thing be continuously, not temporarily.
I see what what our CP and the commissioner, all of them, I see what they talk about us. And I have paper where I go read for them to tell them, say, see what they want me will be to solve the criminal problem.
The partnership will coordinate responses to crime, monitor safety programs, and engage stakeholders, including security heads, civil society groups, traditional rulers, and police officers. Officials said the initiative aims to build trust between communities and security agencies, ensuring timely reporting of crime and more effective law enforcement across Edo State. In Benin, Rhoda Johnny, UP TV News.
Rhoda, for that insightful report.
A circular in Edo State reportedly asked teachers.
Okay, I'm so sorry for that. While still talking about Edo State, there is a report that says a circular in Edo State reportedly instructing teachers to cut grass in schools ahead of resumption has sparked controversy. It's been linked to the Clean and Shine initiative. The directive drew criticism from residents and legal experts who said teachers' main role is classroom instruction, no manual labor. The Edo State Ministry of Education clarified that any school cleanup by teachers is voluntary. Rhoda Jenny has more on the report.
As in schools before resumption, sparking controversy. The document, dated 27 August 2025, linked the task to the Clean and Shine initiative. Residents and stakeholders criticized the directive. Comrade Kola and Comrade Solomon Idiogbe said teachers are meant to teach, not perform manual labor.
Very, very sad and sardonic that our teachers that are supposed to be builders of the nations are now used to implement menial jobs. They have reduced our teachers to mere laborers in school. Even before resumption of school, it is the responsibility of Ministry of Education to make sure that the schools are clean, that the schools are habitable for our students to learn.
Very, very unethical and demeaning. Reason being, schools are supposed to have cleaners, gardeners, drivers. So if the school authority, or for instance the Ministry of Education, is short-staffed, should they rub it in the eyes of the populace and that of the teachers? Are teachers paid to be gardeners and cleaners in their respective schools? The answer is no. So you are overusing them, forgetting that these people are parents as well.
Legal expert Barrister Anthony warned the order could undermine teachers' professional roles and violate labor rules.
You cannot subject school teachers to such inhuman or degrading treatment. Both under our local and international laws, they are classroom teachers who are meant to impart, knowledge to pupils and students, and not the other way around. But if the government at any point in time made that directive and they later came out to deny it, I strongly condemn it. But they have done the right thing by, withdrawing any tacit approval of any kind, and that is the proper thing to do.
The Edo State Ministry of Education debunked the claims. Commissioner Dr. Padi Iyamu clarified that any school cleanup by teachers was voluntary, not mandated, stressed that their main role is teaching, and urged the public to disregard any misinformation. In Benin, Rhoda Johnny, BOP TV News.
Rhoda, thank you. Coming up next, foreign, business, sports and entertainment stories. After the short break, stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. Chinese President Xi Jinping will host China's largest ever military parade this week, aiming to position Beijing as a key player in a post-US global order amid growing geopolitical uncertainty. Over 20 world leaders, including Russia's Vladimir Putin and North Korea's Kim Jong-un, are expected in Beijing for the September 3 Victory Day event, marking 8 years since Japan's defeat in World War II. The highly choreographed display will showcase China's military strength and diplomatic influence at a time when the U.S., under Donald Trump, is cutting foreign aid, retreating from international institutions, and waging a trade war on allies and rivals. The joint appearance of Xi, Putin, and Kim, overseeing cutting-edge weapons like hypersonic missiles and drones, may become the defining image of the parade, a striking show of defiance to the West.
And now in business. The National Bureau of Statistics say the price of cooking gas has surged by 44.5% in 1 year. Its July 2025 liquefied petroleum gas price, which shows the cost of refilling a 12.5 kg cylinder, rose from about 14,200 naira in July 2024 to over 20,600 naira in this July. Adamawa recorded the highest average price for both 5 kg and 12.5 kg cylinders, while Yobe had the lowest. By zones, the South-South posted the highest average prices, while the Southwest recorded the lowest. The MBS says the report is based on data from more than 10,000 respondents across Nigeria's 774 local government areas.
Well, in sports news, the Super Eagles now have 13 players in camp as preparations continue for the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers against Rwanda and South Africa. Team media officer Promise Efoge confirmed that 9 new arrivals, including Alex Iwobi, Calvin Bassi, Moses Simon, and Ola Aino, have joined the 4 players already in camp in Ikorekpene, Akwa Ibom. Nigeria will host Rwanda on Friday at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo before traveling to Bloemfontein to face South Africa on Monday.
And now in entertainment.
Welcome to the entertainment news. Renowned hip-hop artist Jude Abaga, popularly known as MI, is set to debut in a lead voice role in the animated feature Gami and the Living Things, scheduled for release in Nigerian cinemas on September 5th. In this ambitious project, he will be joined by a distinguished lineup of Nollywood talents, including Joke Silva, Bovi Ubuma, and Pet Edoche, as stated by Film One Entertainment, which described the film as Nigeria's most significant animated endeavor to date. At the narrative score is Jude M.I. Abaya's character, Gami, an inspiring Agama lizard with dreams extending beyond his natural habitat's limitations. The film combines humor, music, and emotional depth, chronicling Gami's journey to Lagos, addressing relatable challenges while celebrating rich cultural themes. This film clearly indicates that African animation can compete on the international stage. Kene Okosa, Group Chief Executive Officer of Filmhouse Group, which encompasses Filmhouse Cinema, Film One Entertainment, and Film One Studios, pointed out that the film aligns with a broader vision of establishing a comprehensive African film ecosystem. Popular Nigerian comedian and skit maker Sanku has died in the fatal car accident along Obomoso Road in Oyo State. According to Republican Nigeria, the news of his death was confirmed by actor Yemi Elesho. Earlier, social media influencer Jidex had posted a video of the wrecked vehicle, revealing that several passengers sustained injuries in the crash, which occurred on Monday. Sadly, Sanko and other victims were critically injured, with the comedian later confirmed dead. The tragedy has elicited an outpouring of grief across social media, with colleagues in the entertainment industry, fans, and well-wishers mourning his passing and celebrating his impact on comedy and skit making in Nigeria. Hollywood star Drew Barrymore has revealed plans to pitch a remake of the 1992 classic film Death Becomes Her, with hopes of reuniting with her longtime collaborators Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston. The original movie, which starred Meryl Streep, Goldie Hawn, and Bruce Willis, is remembered for its dark comedy and groundbreaking visuals effect, and Barrymore believes the trio's chemistry could bring a fresh twist to the beloved story. Barrymore and Sandler are no strangers to working together, having headlined fan-favorite romantic comedies such as The Wedding Singer, 50 First Dates, and Blended. Similarly, Sandler and Aniston have established an on-screen partnership through film like Just Go With It, Murder Mystery, and It's Quill. The potential remake has already sparked excitement among fans who are eager to see the powerhouse trio bring their signature charm to the project. And that's it for entertainment. I am Precious Agumanu.
Precious, thank you. And that wraps it up for us on News Hour. But before we go, a quick look at the headlines. Shettima reaffirms Tinubu's Gulf of Guinea security pledge.
ADC accuses Tinubu government of nepotism cover-up.
Also, Obasanjo, Abdulsalami, and Jonathan back digital health drive.
WAEC set to fully adopt computer-based WASE by 2026.
NSIB begins Abuja train crash investigation.
And Rivers APC expresses readiness to work with Governor Fubara.
On the foreign scene, China to host the largest ever military parade.
And in business, cooking gas jumps to 44% in 12 months.
While in sports news, 13 Super Eagles players arrive camp for World Cup qualifiers.
And in the world of entertainment, M.I. Abaga set to debut in animated feature this September. Now do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. On YouTube, we are Voice of the People TV. And on other social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. If you witness news happening near you, we want to hear from you. Send eyewitness reports, event coverage requests, photos or videos directly via WhatsApp to 0814-606-4057. You can also reach our newsroom by email at news@vop.ng. Remember, these are not just news items. They are fault lines in our national story, and we must confront them with courage and clarity. Conversation continues online in our homes and in the halls of power. I am Shoma Lena.
Well, I am Vivian Uguchi, and thank you for watching.